Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today we're plunging headfirst into a stack of sources that lay bare a period of, well, intense mystery, grand events, and some pretty unsettling revelations within the wizarding world. Imagine a quiet English village harboring dark secrets, a global magical sporting event that erupts into terror, and a prestigious school where the air itself hums with both anticipation and genuine danger. Our mission is to extract the most important nuggets of knowledge, surprising facts, and the deeper implications that lurk within these pages, giving you a shortcut to being truly well-informed. So what specific tapestry of magic and mystery are we unraveling today?
We're exploring a series of interconnected events that really set the stage for a critical turning point in the magical world. We begin with a chilling, long unsolved local mystery, then move into a grand international gathering, and finally we'll delve into a pivotal, dangerous competition at a famous wizarding school. Through it all, we'll be extracting insights into the magical world's regulations, its diverse culture, and the very real, insidious threats that lie beneath its shimmering surface. Think of this deep dive as your essential guide to understanding a complex period of magic, mystery, and profound personal challenge for a young wizard.
Okay, let's unpack this with a genuinely eerie beginning. Our story kicks off in Little Hangleton, where locals still whisper about a particular decaying manor they call the Riddle House. It's been decades since the Riddle family lived there, and for chilling reasons. About 50 years prior, three Riddles, the elderly Mr. and Mrs. Riddle and their grown son Tom, were found dead. Not just dead, mind you, but cold as ice, with eyes wide open and a look of terror upon his or her face. What makes this so baffling is the complete absence of physical harm. The police were left scratching their heads, forced to conclude, and I quote, "Whoever heard of three people being frightened to death?" What does that phrase alone immediately tell us about the nature of the magic at play here, even before we get any more clues?
Well, that phrase is crucial, isn't it? It immediately establishes that the magical world isn't neatly contained. Dark magic can become deeply interwoven with seemingly ordinary muggle lives, and its effects can be utterly inexplicable to those outside of it. It also shows us how quickly suspicion can fall on the innocent. Frank Bryce, the Riddle's gardener, a war veteran with a stiff leg and a reclusive nature, instantly became the prime suspect. Despite stubbornly declaring his innocence and claiming he'd seen a dark-haired and pale teenage boy near the house no one else had, so the police, well, they dismissed his story. It was only strange medical reports stating the Riddles appeared in perfect health apart from being dead that forced his release. But the villagers, they continued to eye him with deep suspicion.
Right, and that suspicion never really faded. Fast forward 50 years, and Frank Bryce, now 77 and very deaf, is still tending the dilapidated Riddle House, still enduring taunts from local boys who are convinced he's a murderer. One August night, his bad leg, paining him worse than ever, woke him up. He saw lights glimmering in the upper windows of the Riddle House, assumed it was the boys again, and despite his age and infirmity, decided to investigate.
And this is where the local mystery takes a truly dark turn. Frank, sneaking into the house, overhears a conversation between two men. One, timid, identified as Wormtail, and the other with a voice so strangely high-pitched and cold it would curdle your blood. He catches alarming phrases like, "Where is Nagini?" and a discussion about needing feeding in the night because the journey had greatly tired the cold voice. And here's the crucial strategic nugget. The Cold Voice decides their plan cannot proceed yet because it would be foolish to act before the Quidditch World Cup is over, due to heightened Ministry of Magic security. Unfortunately for Frank, his discovery costs him his life, sealing this local mystery in a very final, dark way.
So, connecting this to the bigger picture then, Frank's chilling experience, hearing these dark whispers, it isn't just an isolated incident. It links directly to Harry Potter's own recent disturbing dream. Harry woke up with his scar hurting, dreaming of Voldemort and Wormtail plotting, though he couldn't quite remember all the details. This persistent pain in his scar and the appearance of this terrifying voice, planning to wait until after the Quidditch World Cup, it heavily suggests a dark return isn't just possible, but already in motion, casting a long shadow.
Absolutely, and that ominous connection sets the stage for our next segment, the Quidditch World Cup itself. This isn't just a game, it's the wizarding world's absolute biggest event, drawing about 100,000 wizards from all corners of the globe. The logistical challenge for the Ministry of Magic was immense, demanding extensive anti-muggle precautions. This included staggered arrivals, designated apparition points, specific places where wizards can instantly teleport, and the ingenious use of port keys, everyday objects enchanted to transport people to a particular location.
Like that old rubber tire they used.
Exactly, like that old tire. trying to manage this huge influx of people secretly.
And it's not just the sheer scale. These grand gatherings offer a truly rich glimpse into wizarding life beyond Hogwarts. You see Mr. Weasley's endearing, almost childlike fascination with muggles, even trying to connect the Dursleys' fireplace to the Flu Network, that magical travel system.
Yeah, or his attempts to collect plugs and batteries. It's quite charming, really.
It is. And we also get a hilarious peek at Fred and George Weasley's burgeoning Weasley's Wizard Wheezes joke shop, evidenced by their tongue toffee prank on Dudley.
Oh, causing his tongue to swell to a comical 4 feet long.
Yes, a wonderful moment of lightheartedness amidst the mounting tension.
It truly is, but that festive atmosphere turns to terror with shocking speed. After the match, a gigantic skull comprised of what looked like emerald stars appears in the sky. Harry immediately recognizes it as the Dark Mark, Voldemort's terrifying symbol unseen for 13 years. The sight causes immediate, widespread panic among the wizards, likened to seeing you-know-who back again, leading many to flee in sheer terror. This highlights a crucial insight. For all the Ministry's impressive logistical capabilities, their control over the wizarding community is incredibly fragile when faced with a coordinated dark presence.
The Ministry's response was swift, but almost immediately descended into chaos. They found Winky, Barty Crouch Sr.'s house elf, a magical servant bound to a family holding Harry's wand at the scene. The prior Incantado spell, that fascinating piece of forensic magic that reveals the last spell the wand cast confirmed Harry's wand had indeed conjured the Dark Mark. But Hermione, ever the advocate for justice, bravely defended Winky, arguing the voice of the incantation was much deeper than an elf. This raises a crucial question for us. If Winky didn't do it, and it was Harry's wand, what deeper forces are at play here? Why the misdirection?
Well, this brings us to the Death Eaters, Voldemort's most fervent supporters, identified by the Dark Mark symbolically burned onto their forearms, which they could also project into the sky. What's striking here is that while the Dark Mark's appearance terrified most, the sources suggest it caused the Death Eaters themselves to flee. This theory posits that they feared Voldemort's displeasure at their prior denials of allegiance after he lost power, wanting to avoid his wrath for their perceived betrayal. It's a fascinating look at the internal power dynamics and fear within the dark forces, even in Voldemort's absence.
Right, and so the public spectacle of the World Cup continues to link back to Harry's private struggles. His scar hurt, his dream of Voldemort and Wormtail plotting, and now the undeniable return of Voldemort's chilling symbol. It all reinforces this escalating sense of a very real, very personal threat that seems to be closing in around him, even as the wizarding world tries to, well, move on.
And with the Quidditch World Cup behind us, the story shifts to Hogwarts, which is about to transform with the arrival of international guests for a very special event. We see the truly dramatic entrance of the Beauxbatons Academy of Magic and a giant powder blue carriage pulled by enormous winged horses, led by the imposing Madame Maxime. Shortly after, the Durmstrang Institute emerges from a submerged ship led by the shrewd Igor Karkaroff, and with Durmstrang comes immediate recognition of Victor Crumb, the world-famous Quidditch seeker.
Hogwarts also gets a new face in the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom. Alastair Mad Eye Moody, he's a retired Auror, that's a dark wizard catcher, basically a magical police officer and a renowned dark wizard catcher, known for his gruff demeanor and constant mantra of constant vigilance. His unique magical eye can see through invisibility cloaks, and he certainly made a memorable first impression by transfiguring Draco Malfoy into a ferret right in front of the class.
A ferret, yes, what a way to introduce constant vigilance.
It really is. It makes you wonder how much of his gruffness is genuine and how much is part of his teaching method to keep them on their toes.
It's definitely a method designed to shock. And it continues with Moody's incredibly controversial lesson on the 3 unforgivable curses, the Imperius, Cruciatus, and Avada Kedavra. He explains why they are unforgivable. Their use on a fellow human earns a life sentence in Azkaban. His demonstrations using spiders are truly shocking, showing the Imperius curse for total control, the Cruciatus curse for unimaginable torture, and the Avada Kedavra, the killing curse. The profound impact, particularly the Cruciatus curse's effect on Neville Longbottom, revealing its true horror, leaves Neville visibly shaken and quiet. This controversial lesson isn't just about dark magic, it's a profound psychological tactic. By exposing students to these curses, Moody forces them to confront the true horror of evil, potentially desensitizing some while deeply traumatizing others, revealing the raw emotional cost of constant vigilance.
And as if things weren't tense enough, Sirius Black, Harry's godfather, sends him an urgent message via the fireplace. He reveals Karkaroff's dark past as a Death Eater who, named names, to gain release from Azkaban. Sirius expresses a grave suspicion that Karkaroff, or someone on Voldemort's orders, is attempting to kill Harry through the upcoming tournament. He also mentions the missing Ministry Witch, Bertha Jorkins, and her potential connection to Voldemort's whereabouts in Albania. This adds a truly intricate layer of conspiracy, making you, the listener, wonder just how deep the rabbit hole goes and how many players are involved in this escalating threat.
This intricate web of conspiracy leads us directly into the revival of the Triwizard Tournament itself. Known for its immensely dangerous reputation, Dumbledore takes precautions, putting an age line around the Goblet of Fire to prevent underage students from entering. The sources amusingly detail Fred and George Weasley's classic attempt to fool it with an aging potion.
Yes, the beards.
Resulting in them instantly sprouting comically long white beards. It's a brief, light-hearted moment before the gravity of the tournament really sets in.
The dramatic moment arrives. The Goblet of Fire selects the champions. First, Fleur Delacour for Beauxbatons, then Victor Crone for Durmstrang, and Cedric Diggory for Hogwarts. But then, in a truly shocking and unprecedented turn that sends ripples of disbelief through the Great Hall, a fourth champion is named: Harry Potter. Despite being clearly underage, the entire school erupts in disbelief and suspicion that he cheated, and the immediate fallout for Harry is painful and isolating.
Indeed. Harry finds himself deeply isolated, suspected of cheating, and this even creates a painful rift with Ron, who becomes, well, jealous of Harry's sudden unwanted attention and believes Harry lied about entering. This period is also marked by the introduction of Rita Skeeter, the Daily Prophet journalist, and her infamous quick quotes quill. She's a master of sensationalism, misrepresenting Harry in biased articles, spinning his past trauma and innocent interactions into fabricated love stories and a craving for fame. This journalistic distortion further fuels the school's resentment against him, showing how quickly public opinion can be manipulated, even in the magical world.
All of this builds to the terrifying first task. Each champion must face a dragon and retrieve a golden egg guarding its real eggs. Harry discovers this terrifying truth after seeing the ferocious Hungarian Horntail with Hagrid, and courageously, he shares this crucial information with Cedric, a true act of sportsmanship.
Although he later learns other champions were also tipped off.
Right, that's true. But still, a decent move from Harry.
His preparation is intense, a genuine struggle to find a solution, but he ultimately focuses on mastering the Actio, summoning charm. The task itself is incredibly public, witnessed by hundreds of cheering and, let's face it, terrified students. Harry's execution is courageous, summoning his firebolt, flying skillfully around the massive dragon, and bravely retrieving the egg. What's truly impactful here is the immediate aftermath. Harry earns a high score, and there's that triumphant emotional reconciliation with Ron, sealed by Hermione. However, the golden egg's horrible noise when opened, revealing it's a clue to the next task, leaves us with a lingering sense of unease. It's a victory, sure, but one that only opens the door to more uncertainty.
Yeah, that screeching egg. The intensity of the first task reminds us that even with Harry's immediate victory, the Triwizard Tournament isn't just about challenges, but also about the underlying social fabric and the deeply personal stakes within the wizarding world. Let's step back from the dragons for a moment and look at how these grand events ripple through the lives of the students and staff and the persistent efforts to make their world, well, maybe a better place.
That's a crucial point. The tournament, for all its danger, includes a traditional element of celebration, the Yule Ball. This formal dance, open to 4th years and above, requires dress robes and is opened by the champions themselves. We see the awkward reality of teenage life, even for wizards, as Harry fumbles his attempts to find a date, including his polite rejection by Cho Chang, who is going with Cedric. It's a reminder that amidst grand plots, everyday anxieties persist,
Absolutely. And amidst the glamour of the ball, we see Hermione's unwavering dedication to social justice continue. She's relentlessly campaigning for the Society for the Promotion of Elfish Welfare, or SPUTU. It's a fascinating contrast. We see Dobby, the free house elf, thriving in his paid work at Hogwarts, utterly overjoyed by his freedom. But then there's Winky, Barty Crouch Sr.'s former house elf, who remains fiercely loyal and deeply saddened by Crouch's actions, living in what she perceives as shame at being discovered without a master. It really highlights the complex, often heartbreaking nuances of house elf rights and loyalty within this magical society.
Indeed. As we conclude this deep dive, we're left with a series of unresolved mysteries. Who truly put Harry's name in the Goblet of Fire, and why? What is the specific meaning of the golden egg's screeching clue? The source leaves us with a palpable sense of unease, suggesting that while one task is complete, larger, darker forces are still very much at play. Harry's journey is far from over, and the personal stakes have never been higher.
Wow, what a journey we've taken. From a chilling, unsolved murder that ties back into the deepest shadows of magic, to a spectacular magical sporting event that erupts in terror, and then thrown into a dangerous tournament with an unknown enemy potentially at play, it's clear that Harry Potter's fourth year is anything but ordinary.
Absolutely. We've uncovered layers of ministry workings, explored critical magical concepts like the truly horrific, unforgivable curses, and witnessed the intricate social dynamics of the wizarding world, from entrepreneurial joke shops to profound house elf activism. The mystery of Harry's entry, the chilling hints of a larger plot orchestrated by dark forces, and the immense personal challenges he faces raise an important question for you, the listener. How do you prepare for the unknown, especially when the very forces orchestrating it are hiding in plain sight and seem to be playing a game you don't even know the rules to?